Hey everybody, welcome to video number 4 on my YouTube channel, Book of Jim. I just want to give you a little update on what's happening with my Spanish immersion and what life is like here, and then I'm going to do a little rant. As the title says on my video, it's about swearing, and I'll get into that in a bit. So yeah, so I think it's going pretty good. So I'm finishing off my second week here. I'm telling you, the first week was some really heavy lifting for me. Second week, kind of the same, but it's like I've reached a little bit of an epiphany. And I think the puzzle pieces are starting to come together for me. Mostly due to this one instructor here who's developed an algorithm for teaching Spanish. Really smart dude, and it's really helped a lot. So stay tuned. I'm really happy about that. As far as living in a hostel, I mean, there's no surprises here for me. I knew coming in that it was going to be full of young people, and what young people do. And as I said before, young is 20 to 40. So anyways, it's a long weekend in Colombia, or Medellin anyways, this weekend, and it's a special festival called the Festival of Flowers, and so lots of stuff happening, and of course all the young people here had big plans for a party. And so Friday after about noonish, or no, I'm sorry, about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I was in the store, and sure enough, there was about 4 or 5 young fellas there with a shopping cart overflowing with booze and pop. So I knew that they had some plans. And Friday night, big party downstairs. Didn't really disturb me that much. I watched a movie, and really everything calmed down by noon, or by noon, by 12. And but I'm telling you, the next day, it was, oh, you could hear crickets. I'm sure everybody was hungover. In fact, there was a couple young guys. Well, one guy had a glass of electrolytes, or a bottle of electrolytes, and I'm like, so, how you feeling? How you doing? You okay? yeah. But and then you got the other ones who it's like nothing happened. So yeah. Anyways, brings back memories. Kind of moving on to the topic of the day. So I wanted to talk about swearing, and I was partly inspired by my last video called Cornhole. So it made me kind of it made me kind of think of swearing in general, because it's kind of strange here. Like, it's like the Spanish teachers think that you really want to know all the swear words here, and I'm like, why do I want to know that? Anyways, but other people showed interest. I guess I'm not the only student here. But it kind of made me meditate on swearing from a Christian perspective. And just a minute here. So there's a scripture in the Bible about, I don't think it specifically concerns swearing, but it talks about speech. So Ephesians chapter 4 verse 29, it says, let no corrupt word proceed out of your mouth, but what is good for necessary edification, that it may impart grace to the hearers. So yes, don't get me wrong, I don't advocate swearing. I have an opinion about what you're going to hear. But you're not going to go to hell for swearing. But Scripture is quite clear that, whatever comes out of your mouth, make it for edification or the benefit of others. And so you have to ask yourself, what you were saying, is it bringing people down, or is it bringing people up? Is it contributing to a positive environment or a negative environment? I know that professionally. And I worked in healthcare for quite a long time, and I was in management for most of it. It's not considered professional to swear. And for example, years back, I was part of a consultant team in Cranbrook, and there were 6 of us. I was the only guy, and we were a tight team. It was a lot of fun. I did that for 3 years, and I really enjoyed it. But working with these ladies, they're all nurses. Some of them been around for a long time, but they had potty mouths, man. So, but it was fun, and they all knew I was a Christian, and so they'd swear. And then they'd apologize. They'd swear and then apologize. Oh, sorry, Jim. Sorry, Jim. Like I said, look, guys, just don't apologize. Be you. I said, but, you know, one day you're going to be in a meeting, and you're going to be in the meeting with the VP of this or the administrator of that, and your boss is going to be there, and you're going to drop an F-bomb in a meeting. And I said, and that day is not a good day because it doesn't bode well for you in that professional environment. So they were like, holy crap. So they started a swear jar, but then they came up with Jim swears because I don't think I ever swore around them. But anyways, Jim swears, and Jim swears were how I looked at them, because apparently I have a way I look at people, and it says you're an idiot. So anyways, I had put money in the swear jar whenever I had that look. So, but anyway, so the other thing too about swear words is, you know, what is swearing? What words qualify for swearing? There's a really neat video out there. You should look it up. But Tim Hawkins, he's a Christian comedian. He talks about Christian swear words. So look that up. It's really funny. But what is swearing? And you know, as from that last video, it can change from country to country, culture to culture, and era to era to era. You know, so what's a swear word 100 years ago is not a swear word now, and so on. So it's kind of a moving target, isn't it? I think it's safe to say for the purposes of this video, it's whatever we consider swearing now in our culture. And I'm not talking about words used in a way to harm people. So, you know, using some certain words to attack a person individually, or so what I want to talk about, you know, like those are. I think what's more important to note about that kind of thing is the animosity and the you know, for sure bad purposes around that. What I kind of want to talk about is really just that, you know, just those swear words that come out in everyday language. So you'll meet some people, and I was like this when I was young, but every second word I had was an F-bomb. I worked in sawmill and I worked in construction, and just before I was a Christian, and like honestly, every second word was F this, F that, and you know, I didn't even know I was doing it. I really didn't, and so we got to cut some people some slack as Christians, and I do, you know, I overlook all that stuff, and I'm especially around these young people. They're not going to judge me what they're saying. No, I was there one time, but from a Christian perspective, what about us? You know. I know that we hold each other to a higher standard, as we should, and we were probably more aware of how we speak, and we should be a positive influence. But I'll tell you another story. I was working I was managing a long-term care facility, and this is not too long ago, and I don't know. Some of you may know I was a nurse. And every nurse has what we call the nurse walk. And what that is that you're not allowed to run in hallways, so you just learn how to walk really fast. And I had my nurse walk on. I can't remember why, but I was doing the nurse walk thing, man. I was at speed, and I came around a corner, and what I didn't know is that someone spilled some pudding, and it had wiped it, but it had gone to go get a mop. They didn't put a sign up. I hit that pudding, and I got air. I mean, I got air, and in my mind, I was going to land like a cat, but I think I more landed like a lava lamp, or I don't know, like a beanbag. I don't know. I injured myself. Must have looked hilarious. There was staff around there, but according to the staff, when I hit air, and I don't remember doing this, I swore. So anyways, what's that? So anyways, and then it wasn't funny at the time for me. But it was funny after. So what does that say? Well, number one, here comes the Rant piece a little bit. So I think a person who swears a lot in my opinion, is it's just lazy. It's just laziness. It's just in its filler. So like, I think that swear words can be legit sometimes. I mean, and sometimes, in my opinion, there's no other way to say something sometimes. But it's still, at that time, it's still an option. There was a man I worked with in the sawmill. He's my uncle's, by marriage, my uncle's dad, George Pfeiffer Sr. And I was working him, and this story was told to me by another guy, Lawrence Romano, and told in the sawmill, in the sawmill lunchroom. What it was is that they were putting in railway spikes. Lawrence was helping George, and Lawrence had the hammer. And have you ever seen a railway spike hammer? It's like a sledgehammer, but it comes to a narrow, not a point, but it's about that big around, and like that, and so it just hits that spike. And so anyways, Lawrence wound up to hit the spike, but he hit George's thumb. And Lawrence Wade tells it, the blood hit his thumb, and this is gross, but blood hit his face, and he was just like horrified. And he said George, who was a Christian, George was like this, and he said, "Mercy." So, and Lawrence like, "Mercy, mercy." That's all he had to say. So kudos to George Sr. And it is evidence that you don't always have to swear, even in the most critical times. So, however, that being said, I got no problem with someone who, if you jam your little toe into the corner of a desk and bend it backwards, and an expletive deleted comes out of there, I think I understand that. There are other things, but just to drop it every 2 seconds, come on, give me a break. Put some intelligence behind your speech there. Just stop throwing it out there. It's almost like it's wasting a good word. Save it for something important. Something that warrants that emphasis and that energy, or whatever. That being said, it's still a choice. There are other ways to express that pain, anguish, whatever, like George Sr., who just said mercy, crying out to God to help him through that moment. So anyways, that's all I got. Take it or leave it. It's my opinion. Still cover your prayers. Thank you for praying for me, for the language. It's helping me. Thank you. And talk to you next time.